This is Mac from JLPTbootcamp.com here with another N4 grammar lesson. And today we're going to talk about starting, continuing, and finishing something. And you're talking to your friend about your recent adventures, something that you started. You say, Saikin undo shi hajimetan da. So, saikin is recently. Undo is exercise. Shi is the ma stem of suru. And hajimetan is, is I started. So I started exercising recently. And your friend responds, honto, as in really, do, how did it go? How was it? And you respond, no comment, think about it. And you were using hajimeru, which is a way that you talk about something starting or starting to do something. Very easy to form. You just have the ma stem plus hajimeru. That's basically it. Start to do something. So, for example, this example sentence, ashita no shugudai o yatto shi hajimeimasu. So, ashita is tomorrow. No is the possessive particle, or it can be used to link two nouns here. In this case, ashita is modifying shukudai, homework. So, yesterday or tomorrow's homework. And then o is the object marking particle. Yatto is finally. And she again is the ma stem of suru, and hajimemasu is to start something. So I finally started tomorrow's homework. And so this is very easy to form. Usually we use this to talk about things that we have under control. It doesn't necessarily have to be us starting the particular activity, but we're under control, and it's more of a gradual start to something. And another way to say you start something, we'll practice in the next conversation here. So you're continuing on, and you're talking to your friend, of course, again, and you say, Nichiyobi hashite ite ne. So Nichiyobi is Sunday, and hashite is you went for a run, hashite, and ite is go. So you went for a run, and ne is like I'm telling you, this is kind of an important piece of information. And your friend responds, sorede, which is, and then, and you continue the story, hashite iru to, kyū ni ame ga furidashita. So, hashite iru is I was running. The present progressive, to is when. So, kyū ni is suddenly the rain started to fall. And so I was running, and all of a sudden the rain started to fall. Furi dashita, which is furu is falling, and dashita is to start suddenly. And your friend responds, "Hey, daijoubu datta?" So "hey" is like an expression. It's used a lot by women, but it can be used by men. Kind of an expression of shock, and they want to they want you to repeat the information. They're kind of shocked as to what happened, or they're surprised in a good way or a bad way. And she asks, daijoubu datta? So daijoubu is okay. Datta is the past tense of the copula. So she was asking, were you okay? And you were using dasu, which is a way to talk about something starting suddenly, which is different from hajimeru. And again, very easy to form. It's ma stem plus dasu. For example, in this sentence here, manga o mite warai da shimashita. So manga is comic books, Japanese style comic books. O is the object marking particle. Mite is look. And warai is the ma stem of warao, which is to laugh or to smile. And then dashimashita is the past tense of dasu, so meaning to suddenly start laughing at something, to burst out laughing at the manga. And so, real quick here, the difference between these two, hajimeru is used for something more under your control, more gradual. You start to do some kind of hobby or start to do some kind of activity, whereas dasu is less under your control, more sudden, and usually something emotional. For example, the example we had before, warao or amo. So omoi dasu is suddenly remember something. It kind of pops into your head. You can use it for crying. So nakidasu or those kinds of things. It's kind of a sudden start to something. So that's the key difference. Another thing to note here too is that these two helper verbs sometimes use the kanji and they sometimes don't. Sometimes they're written in kana. So you may see them either way. And on the test, hajimeru, that kanji, that's an N4 kanji, so you might not see it in the grammar part of the test. You'll see it, maybe they'll kind of, they might quiz you over the kanji reading, but you might not see it in other parts, like in the reading section or in the grammar section. They might not write it in the kanji. So just be aware that you can write it both ways. So continuing the conversation, you're continuing the story about getting stuck in the rain, and your friend asks, "Sorede ni ie ni kaita no?" So sorede ni is so then, and then ie ni, so ie is your house, ni, the ni particle is marking to, movement towards a place, and then kaita is the past tense of to return, to return somewhere, to return to your house. No, of course, is a casual way to ask a question. And you respond, ame ga furitsukete ita kara. So, is yes, ame is rain, ga is the subject marking particle, furi is the mas stem of furu, and then tsutsukete is tsutsukete ita, is the past progressive of continuing. So it was continuing to rain. The rain was continuing to fall. And then kara marks that this was the reason for something. So you returned to the house. The reason was that the rain continued to fall. So, and your friend responds, "So, taihen." So is like, "Oh, is that so? Oh, I see." Taihen is like, "Wow, that's tough." Taihen has a couple different translations actually, but you can use it as an expression of like, "That's too bad." I'm sorry to hear that kind of an expression, taihen. And you were using tudukeru. So this is to talk about something continuing. Again, very easy to form, mastem plus tudukeru. And quick thing to note, the kanji for tudukeru that you see there is not N4 kanji. You probably won't see it on the test. So you'll probably always see this just written in kana. But just so you know what the kanji looks like, I put it on there if you're reading some other kind of material. Again, this with the other verbs that I mentioned, sometimes it's written in kana, sometimes it's written in kanji. So just be aware that they both exist. So here's another example sentence for you in polite Japanese. Ichinichi chu zutto tonari no inu ga naki tsukemasu. So ichinichi chu is all day. Zutto is emphasizing more like continuous, without interruption. Tonari is next door. In this particular situation, it means your next door neighbor and his dog. So the next door neighbor's dog. Ga is the subject marking particle. Naki is the ma stem of naku, which is for a dog to bark. Basically, you would use this. Dogs making some kind of noise. You would use naku. And tsukukemasu is to continue, so to continue to bark. And pretty simple, no-brainer. There aren't a lot of exceptions or rules to keep in mind with this. You just need to add the ma stem to the front and tsukeru at the end there. So again, to finish off your story, you finally get home, and so you say hashiru owatara ame ga yanda yo. So I finished running. Again, hashiri is the ma stem of to run, hashiru, and owata is to finish. Owatara is win, and ame ga yanda is the past tense, the casual past tense of yamu, which is to finish. and yo is you're giving some extra information. Real quick, owaru is something that you're controlling, you're finishing, whereas yamu is something more like something that's not in your control, that has ended, that has finished off. The better translation is end, something ended. It kind of has a natural ending, whereas owaru is something that you've decided to finish, usually. So you wouldn't usually use owaru with ame, rain, something that's not in your control. And your friend responds, so that's too bad, kind of meaning. So to finish it off, to talk about something ending, you would use owaru. This is ma stem plus owaru. Like this example sentence, Jibun no shosetsu o yatto kaki awarimashita. So jibun is my own. No is the possessive there. Shosetsu is novel. O is the object marking particle. Yatto is finally. Kaki is the ma stem of kaku, to write, or to draw a picture, for example. And owarimashita is the polite past tense of owaru, which is to end something. So I finally finished my novel, is what that means. So pretty basic. Not a lot of things to keep in mind here. Again, it can be written in kana or in kanji. You might see either on the test. You'll probably see it in kana on the test, but in real life it really varies on. With these helper verbs, it really depends on the kind of the situation. Usually in more casual situations, kana is used. In more formal situations, more kanji would be used. But if it's a document, some kind of essay or something, and there's just too much kanji, they might switch it into kana to make it a little bit easier and have a little bit better flow. So you can see it in both forms. All right, so do you think you've mastered it all? Let's take a real quick pop quiz to finish it all off. So what is this sentence in Japanese? When you finish eating lunch, it is all right for you to watch TV. So you can imagine maybe this is a parent talking to a child. Eat all your lunch, then you can watch your favorite TV program. How would you say that in Japanese? So you would say, hiru gohan o tabe owattara terebi o mite mo ii desu yo. So hiru gohan is lunch, o is object marking particle. Tabe is the mas stem of taberu, to eat. Owatta is the casual past tense of owaru, to finish, so to finish eating. Ra, again, is when, so when you finish eating lunch. Terebi is TV, o object marking particle. Mite is to look. In this phrase, moi is it's okay. It kind of literally means even if you look at the TV, it's good, is the literal meaning there. Des, of course, is the copula. Yo is a way of saying, I inform you of this. Pay attention. You have to eat. You have to eat before you watch the TV program. Maybe an impatient mother would use yo in this situation. And moving on, next sentence. I moved to America and started getting fatter, which is very common for a lot of people in Japan. When they move to America, they gain a few pounds. So this in Japanese would be America ni hikoshi shite futoku nari hajimemashita. So America is America. Ni is to, moving towards a place. Hikoshi is to move. Shite is, we need, hikoshi is a suru verb, so we need shite here. So I moved to America, and futoku, futoi is fat. So we can use e adjectives with naru to mean become a certain adjective. When we do that, we need to change it into the ku form. So futoku naru is to become fat. Of course, the ma stem of that is nari. When we add that to hajimemashita, so begin to get fat. Next sentence. The company president kept talking in the meeting, so now I'm sleepy. Another way to say this is the company president continued to talk in the meeting. That in Japanese would be kaigi de shacho wa hanashi tsuketa no de ima nemui desu. So kaigi is meeting, de is in, shacho is the company president. As for the company president, hanashi tsuketa is hanashi is the ma stem of hanasu, to speak. Tsuketa is to he continued. No de is so. Ima, now. Nemui, sleepy. And des is the copula to make it all polite. And last sentence to translate today. Why did that person start yelling? Or why did that person start talking in a loud voice? Is to help you translate that a little bit better. That in Japanese would be naze sono hito wa oki koe de hanashi dashimashita ka. So naze is why, and sono hito is that person, wa is the topic marking particle, oki is big, koe is voice, and then de is with. Hanashi is the ma stem of hanasu. So to speak, dashimashita is the past tense of to suddenly start doing something. And so to suddenly start speaking. And then ka is how we can finish this to make it a polite question. Ka is the question marking particle. So that's it for this particular lesson. Went a little long, sorry. But we went over 4 very powerful, very useful verbs. Hajimeru, to talk about starting something gradually, something that's under your control. Dasu is talking about something starting suddenly, usually not under your control. Sometimes it's emotional for you. And talking about something continuing, tudukeru, that continues on. And then, of course, owaru is talking about something ending or finishing something up. So that's it for this lesson for this month. Hope you enjoyed it. If you know anyone that is studying for the N4 test, I'm sure they would love a little bit of help with some grammar. Be sure to forward this video on to them and help them out and get the word out about the grammar. Help them pass the test. So have a good couple of weeks studying, and I will talk to you next month. This has been another grammar explanation video from the JLPTbootcamp.com premium site. There at the site, you'll find a lot of other extra goodies. For example, all of my guides, including the JLPT Study Guide Kit, which will walk you through how to study for the JLPT, as well as how to build very effective mnemonics so that you can remember kanji and vocabulary the first time you see it. I also walk through how to formulate a good test-taking strategy so you know what units, what sections of the test to focus on to maximize your points and get the best possible score that you deserve. In addition to that kit, I also have grammar guides for the N5 and N4 levels. In those guides, I go over some common mistakes that people make, example test questions, extra practice with grammar points, lots of great stuff. That's available at jlptbootcamp.com/premium. I hope to see you very soon at the premium site. This has been Mac from jlptbootcamp.com.